I'm going to read you Kipper's Monster, written and illustrated by Mick Inkpen, published by Hodder Children's Books. Tiger had a brand new torch. "It's the most powerful torch there is," he said to Kipper. He shone it at Big Owl. He shone it at Hippo. He shone it in Kipper's face. "You should see it when it's dark," he said. "It's really good when it's dark." He sat in Kipper's basket and pulled the blanket over his head. "Come on, we can make it dark under here," he said. Under the blanket was one of Kipper's storybooks. "That's another thing," said Tiger. "You can read under the bedclothes with a torch like this." Kipper began to read. "Deep in the middle of the dark, dark wood, there lived a horrible, horrendous, terrible, tremendous—" "That's it!" shouted Tiger, jumping up. "We'll camp in the woods tonight. It'll be really, really dark in the woods." "Shall I bring my book?" said Kipper. So they took the book and some biscuits, and they put up their tent in the middle of the woods at the bottom of Big Hill. But as it began to get dark, Tiger began to think that perhaps it wasn't such a good idea after all. "Come inside and have a biscuit," said Kipper. "Do you want Rabbit or Big Owl?" But Tiger didn't reply. He was looking nervously out the door. "Do you think there are any bears in these woods?" he whispered. "No, I shouldn't think so," said Kipper. He began to read. "Deep in the middle of the dark, dark wood, there lived a horrible—" But Tiger wasn't ready. He asked Kipper to sit next to the door instead of him, and when Kipper tried again to read, Tiger got up and zipped the door shut altogether. But the third time Kipper tried to read, from somewhere outside the tent there came the most terrible, tremendous, horrible, horrendous screech. "What was that?" said Kipper. Tiger said nothing. "Let's go and look," whispered Kipper. So they crept out of the tent and into the woods, shining Tiger's torch ahead of them. "I think it came from somewhere near here," said Kipper. The torch beam lit up the enormous grey trunk of an old tree. There in the middle was a dark, dark hole. Suddenly, a huge pair of yellow eyes blinked open, and from the hole came the most terrible screech. They shrieked and ran, bumping into each other and sending the torch flying. They scrambled into the tent and lay there, panting hard, listening. "I think it was just an owl," whispered Kipper. Yes, it was just a silly old owl. But behind him, the shadow of something was growing on the wall of the tent. Something with horns. "It's a horrible, horrendous monster," squealed Tiger. The shape on the tent grew and grew until it was looming above them. Then it slowly changed into a shape that Kipper had seen before. Kipper crept back out of the tent and walked towards the torchlight. There, caught in the beam, was a little snail. Kipper picked up the torch and let the snail crawl onto his paw. He looked at the snail closely. Its horns curled in and out as he touched them. "I've found the horrible, horrendous monster. Look, Tiger." Tiger peeped out from underneath the blanket. He saw the snail. He saw its shadow. He felt silly. "Shall I read the story now?" said Kipper. But Kipper never did get to read the story because they went home to Tiger's house, where they put the tent up in Tiger's bedroom, and Tiger got to read it instead. There's the two of them. I hope you enjoyed the story. It was called Kipper's Monster, published by Hodder Children's Books, and it was written and illustrated by Mick Inkpen. Thank you.